Joy, and we're gonna keep talking because Trisha just doesn't stop talking. Even though she's so over it and she wants to move on, she has to keep demonizing Shane and Ryland. Now, I know, in all fairness, I have gotten a lot of crap for my videos lately on Trisha. I think my last video was like at a 40% like ratio. The funny thing is people don't realize when they downvote my videos, it gives me engagement and helps the videos anyway. That's always a fun little thing I'd like to think about. I'm like, oh, they're helping me regardless. And the thing is, I have a dedicated group of people that hate me. My videos will never be in the 90% like ratio unless I become much bigger of a YouTuber and have a bigger audience, because people make sure they're in the 80s and 70s regardless. And I think it's fun. It's fine. I don't care. Honestly, like, I'm not here for a popularity contest. Now, with that being said, I do want to grow my channel and I want to make money on here, right? But I want to keep my integrity intact as much as I can. And I'm going to be honest. So I can't talk about it yet. This is one of those things where you guys know if there's something I can't talk about and I say be patient, or at some point I will be able to, or something, you know, I'm somebody that comes with receipts and information, right? So I feel like I've been very true to that word. I'm going to tell you right now, I still believe most of the points I made about Trisha Paytas. I do not believe at this point she's well-intended. I know a lot of people do, and I will tell you why. I want to be, and when I'm able to, if I'm ever able to talk about this, I will. I will tell you what I can. Trisha has actively done things to hurt my friendships on YouTube, and not only my friendships on YouTube, to hurt my YouTube career. I knew she had done some things, and I didn't know why, but it goes way further than I thought that it did. It probably goes further than what I know. Trisha has actively done things to try to hurt me when I've done nothing but support her. She has spread lies about me, and she has manipulated people to turn on me and make bad videos about me. The only videos I ever made were in support of her, especially with Onision bullying her. And I couldn't figure out why. But I think I know why now. And I'm not going to get too into it at the moment, but a lot of you say I don't know why I blindly support and follow Shane. I don't blindly defend and support Shane. What I will tell you is, I smartly with experience will tell you Trisha is not that good of a person, because I literally have personal experience with this. I'm not really ready to talk about it or tell my story, and it's also not fully my story to tell. The stuff I can talk about, I will, maybe at some point. I don't really want to right now, though. I would say, all I ask is just take that with a grain of salt. I would say that to anybody, but take it with the benefit of the doubt that so many times I've said I have receipts and I'll drop them when the time is right, and I did. And there was a reason I waited. So sometimes it's not just about me or what I want to say, it's about being respectful to other people. And I will always put as much as I can within the awarenesses I have. I will always put the betterment of people and giving the benefit of the doubt and my friendships on YouTube, the few that I've made with awesome people, you know, and I'm always going to make sure that is first and foremost, and protecting all of that, protecting people as much as I can. That's why, like with the Daddy-O-5 thing, I kept saying there are things I want to say, but I can't until the time is right, because I was waiting until it was safe from the context of the court to speak. Even though I probably could have spoke and said whatever I needed to. And of course, we had all these internet armchair, you know, people who thought they were lawyers going, I'm going to hurt the case. And I'm doing all these awful things to Rose Hall and her kids. And turns out, nope, I was doing everything I was supposed to. Remember, I'm manipulating Rose Hall for information to put out there when I was silent for months, while Rose Hall once a week is asking me to give her money and do streams and put her on there so I can get her money. When I said, did you clear it by your lawyer? Because as far as I'm aware, you're supposed to be silent. The times she and her family weren't silent, they actually got in trouble by the court. So just keep some of that in mind. You know, I'm a YouTuber. Y'all don't know who I am. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm fine with that. I can tell you from experience, Trisha is manipulative. I have tried so many times to give the benefit of the doubt. And one of the reasons I have turned the way I have is not just the fact that I saw the holes in the argument and things started to not sit right, but that I personally started to have even more understanding of how Trisha has personally tried to hurt me. Somebody who's done nothing but be kind to her and support her and respectful. So the fact that she wants to talk about mean girl behavior, Trisha is a mean girl. She just does it in hiding. But you know what's funny? I don't know why people are jumping on the Trisha bandwagon, because let's be honest, Trisha has been open. She offended the LGBTQ community by saying I identify as a chicken nugget. She told everybody she's got DID when she didn't. She's done all kinds of stuff to be offensive and hurtful and get attention. And then she goes, oh yeah, I do that just because I need to get attention and money. And somehow we just magically believe her because of mental illness. Funny. Apparently, she can disrespect Shane's privacy and put out private information about his mental health. Nobody says a word, because I guess if Shane's having mental health issues, Shane bad, so he deserves it. Trisha okay, because she's on the H3 podcast and right now she's one of the cool kids. I don't buy it. Guess who's only been nice and respectful to me? His name is Shane. Now, I don't know Shane very well and I don't know Trisha very well. But I'm telling you right now, I've seen character. Shane stuck his neck out for me and was kind to me during a time where everybody hated me for BS and because I was a woman that gained weight in front of a camera. Trisha, I was kind, supportive. I've never really done supportive videos on Shane. No disrespect. I didn't know him. Out of nowhere for no reason and getting nothing for it but only backlash, Shane came out and supported me and was kind to me. What did Trisha do? I made videos. I supported her when people were bullying her. I said I'm so happy for her success and encouraged her. And she took that and decided to use it to hurt me, to stir up drama. I kind of wonder how many creators she does this with. Probably a lot. I wanted to let you guys know, for many people who want to know why I've turned on, I might make an actual video talking about this, but that's why I've changed a little bit. Also, again, I just started seeing holes. So funny that and I've heard this too, and I want to talk about this because this argument's driving me nuts. I've said, so funny that she says Shane sold his soul for money and the devil, and he needs to stop everything he's doing and all of his business and his main income for their friendship, even though she didn't give him a chance to even talk to him about it, right? However, I find it kind of interesting that when she talks about all this, it coincides with the promotion of sex toys, adult toys she makes money off of, and it somehow coincides with an emo music video she decided to put out because she's so emo now. Remember she came out as a trans man? I guess that's over. When are we going to realize that Trisha is one big troll and that a lot of her mental health issues are because she's just not a good person? She's a bad person. And I think she jumped on the Shane bad bandwagon because she's gotten crap for defending him and because she had things to promote and it was real trendy to throw him under the bus. That is my opinion. And I say that from firsthand experience with her. I hope more people who have firsthand experiences about how awful Trisha is come forward. Remember what she did to Nikocado Avocado? I now fully believe, I talked to a girlfriend, very smart girlfriend. Hey Puffin, she's wonderful. And we were talking about the Nikocado thing and she's like, I think she planned that whole thing just to get attention because then they were on a mukbang together. Trisha is the queen of getting attention at all costs to anybody. But then she wants to talk about who the devil is and how Shane and Ryland sold their souls. Let's get into that because we finally have, I know this was a bit of an intro, but we finally have not Ryland, well, not Shane speak, but Ryland spoke. And because they are together and they're partners, to me, anytime you have two partners, many times they are a united front. That's typically how it's looked at. So I would say if this is Ryland's point of view, it would probably publicly be Shane's point of view. It would be a reflection of representation on Shane. I know some people don't want to think that's how it works, but that's typically how most marriages work. I'm not saying hold the other person accountable for everything somebody does in the relationship, but typically you're a unified front. That's just how it is. So I'd like you guys to hear what Ryland has to say. And then Trisha, remember, she's going to take a break from social media and makes 21 videos on TikTok because I downloaded them all because that makes sense. And she just wants to move on, but can't stop talking about, you know what's funny? Was it Shane? Was Shane the one that threatened her? Was it Shane and Ryland that said all those awful things and took her on a trip? Oh no, it was Jeffree. So why has Trisha made Shane the big focus of this? Because she's getting that money, y'all. That video is almost at 1 million views that she put up, the first one about Shane. I want you to do the math on that. 1 million views. If every 1,000 views, she gets $5 to $10, your girl made bank. I've got bills to pay and I've just bought a house and I got to keep moving on, but Shane's not allowed to in his career. I might talk about this later, but isn't it interesting that I distance myself from everybody that talked badly about Shane, except for H3, who talked really badly about Shane, and she did a partnership with them. Ooh, see why I'm not trusting it? Y'all see? I don't know. I wish Trisha thought she was talented enough to just get by on her merits of her singing and her performing to not have to be harmful to people. I wish she believed that in herself. But Trisha always has to manipulate, hurt people, and play games to get attention. And I think that's because that's how she feels about herself. Oh, but don't say anything bad about Trisha because my mental illness. But I guess Shane's mental health doesn't matter because Shane bad. Shane bad because people say he's bad and we believe he's bad now. Because he made content for a different time, for a different generation that was traumatized. To people who don't understand it. But Trisha can do and say any offensive thing she wants, and because she's with the cool kids of H3 now, it's totally okay, y'all. So let's go ahead. We're going to break all this down. Let's play what Ryland has to say. Let's take a listen.
Today, wow. Okay, first, I guess the first thing we have to address is, and I hate to do this because Trisha's friendship means more to me than a headlining story on this podcast. I hate that we're a podcast that does hot topics, and I've somehow become a hot topic that I feel I have to address in some sort of way because I've been flooded on all elements of social media regarding this situation, and Trish is mad at us right now, and I guess I'm confused. I was taken back a little bit, and I understand like she's had drama with Jeffree and hairbyjay, who has hairbyjay obviously said horrific things that I don't stand by. I don't support. Obviously, I support Trisha over hairbyjay. Like, I've never followed this man. I don't know this man. I've met him once in passing.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm so heavily involved with this really does break my heart because I love Trisha so much.
Yeah.
I consider her one of my closest friends. We see her more than I see really anyone besides you because you come over weekly for this podcast. And I guess at the end of the day, I truly wish she would have come to me as a friend if she was hurting like the way that she is and talked it out with me. And I wish that it wouldn't have played out on the internet like this. I just am really honestly confused because I see her all of the time. And even after the last time Jeffree was physically on this podcast, I was at her house and we had a wonderful, loving time. And I understand maybe it's hard for her to express her actual feelings towards Jeffree to us or the gravity in which she's feeling feelings towards Jeffree when she knows we're specifically friendly with Jeffree. So maybe it's hard for her to like ask me to cut him off, but at the same time, I can't read someone's mind. And I feel like as an adult, I have two other adult friends that got in an altercation a year ago. And maybe it is my fault for never having asked her where she truly stands or wants me to stand. I just, I felt as though that was like their lane. I never hung out. I think one time I was with Jeffree, Shane, Trish, and myself together. Like they were independently friends, and they're both independently my friends. And like I said, I see Trish all the time. I love her, and I wish she would have just hit me up personally, so that we could have dealt with this situation. And I feel awful. I feel awful that I contributed to her feeling this way because she's obviously scared and hurting and doesn't want to be in the position she's in. I don't believe.
Yeah.
I have this podcast, and trust me, there's nothing I would rather do than just go about business as normal and have
and handle
fun.
it privately.
Well, and just like, I don't want to have drama on the internet. Trisha's friendship to me means so much more than the internet.
Yeah.
And so I'm just bummed out by it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of love for Trish too. I don't know her personally by any means, just from our one exchange on the show. And like, since I met her in person, I've had nothing but nice things to say about her, and I'm a fan of her, and I'm a fan of her content and what she does. And I just, I find it deeply regrettable that something that we put out that was intended to be lighthearted and fun and commentary caused her so much pain.
And I guess I think the reason for the confusion is that this came after, like, we were talking about Jeffree and Kanye, which, I mean, we talk about hot topics on the show. The whole world was talking about it. I'm not justifying it. Like, I guess it is, her feelings are valid. However she's feeling is 100% valid. And Shane did reach out to her. I wanted to kind of let things play out for a second because I learned a lot last year. Like, I jumped on some things too quickly last year. And even when the internet is coming at you, I'm still a person in regards to any drama on the internet. I think it's healthy to like take a step back, think about it, breathe about it. Like, just because something's coming at you doesn't mean I necessarily need to react. I'd rather
react publicly, really. Yeah.
And bottom line, I love Trish so much. I wish her all the happiness in the world, even if she chooses not to be in our lives. And I think she's iconic. I'll always think she's iconic. I have so much love for her. And I guess that is where I'll leave it for now. I'm never going to talk badly about her on the internet.
Yeah.
I hope we mend our friendship, and I hope things are okay and we can talk about how we're feeling together in person in real time eventually.
I just want to, echo your sentiment. Like, we love you, Trish. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I don't stand by anything negative that was ever said about you. And I continue to, love and support you.
Yeah.
I want to go over this very quickly. So we have some notes and then we'll play. I'm not going to play all of Trisha's. That'll be another video. We're going to play some. Here we go. So this is what Ryland says. Ryland said, look, Trisha had drama with Jeffree and the hairbyjay. And he also said, look, whatever hairbyjay did, he said horrific things. It wasn't okay. He was upfront about that. He says that they are so heavily involved between him and Shane. They're involved with this because of the two friendships, and it breaks his heart, and that she is one of his closest friends. He says he sees her often. He sees her more often than like family, and wishes that she would have come to him as a friend and talked about how she felt. Because remember, Trisha said they talked, but then Trisha reneged on it and said we've only texted. And I guess Shane said, come over, let's get Postmates, let's talk about it, let's forget about it. I understand the forget about it sentence might have hurt her feelings, but I think that was Shane's way of saying, let's work this out. But Trisha, obviously, didn't give him the benefit of a visit or a call because she's such a good friend. She is such a good friend. She only puts herself around pro-Shane people, including Ethan from H3. Ethan from H3. Don't forget that. So here we go. He says, he thinks it might be hard for her to express the gravity of her feelings with Jeffree because of the position of the friendship that they have with him. He says, we're both honestly confused. I was at her house after the podcast with Jeffree, and we had a great time. And he thinks it's hard for her to ask them to cut Jeffree off. And he can't read somebody's mind. As an adult, he has two other friends that got into an altercation a year ago, and he felt like that was in their lane, not his. He says, we're all independently friends. Maybe it was my fault for not asking where she stands with it. So far, I can agree with everything. I think Trisha and Shane, and I don't know about Ryland, I don't know enough about him to assess this, I think they're people pleasers. So I think Trisha did express herself to an extent, but then she downplays it because she's also okay with people just disrespecting and degrading her for money. She wants to be Anna Nicole Smith. She's talked about it. She idolizes Anna Nicole Smith because of that. I've talked about this in detail. So I think they are genuinely confused because Trisha probably did say how she felt, but they also know Trisha can exaggerate because she does. Trisha can lie because she does. And I don't think they thought she was lying, but it was more like, you know what? Maybe this is something we stay out of and we let these two work it out and we let them play it out. Because sometimes when you jump in the middle of a drama between two other people that has nothing to do with you, it can make things worse for you. And Trisha never said to cut him off. And you know what? I could see Shane going back and forth going, that's scary. I've seen things concern me about Jeffree. I kind of feel I need to back off. And I bet Shane has gone back and forth with that thought. That's okay. It's okay to go back and forth about things in your head for a while as you're trying to figure things out. It doesn't make you a horrible fake person, like Trisha says. And Trisha said she was okay with the podcast. All they knew was that she was okay with it. And she acted fine with it. This drives me nuts. He says, he wishes Trisha would have gone to him to talk. He feels awful that she feels this way and is in this position and feels unsafe. He wanted to handle it privately and not have drama on the internet because her friendship means more to him than dumb internet drama. The reason for the confusion was when we had Jeffree on talking about gossip. That's what we do. Her feelings are valid. Shane did reach out to her. I learned, he says personally, I learned to give things time and not jump into things too quickly. It's healthy to take a step back, think about it, breathe about it, and not react publicly. I don't know, Trisha, like an adult does. Oh, but my BPD. I get it, we got BPD, but Trisha, at some point, you gotta be a big girl, but your big pants on, and stop putting everything out on the internet to manipulate people and hurt people. At some point, Trisha, like D'Angelo Wallace said recently, you've got to take accountability, I don't know, for your own actions. Shane hurt you. I get it. You felt hurt and there was miscommunication. Be a big girl and deal with this maturely. You're 32 years old. Like, I just think and I've been there because I had health issues that made me so I wasn't mentally clear and I was going through a lot. But and I embarrassed myself, so I speak from experience. How embarrassing to make this mistake on repeat. On repeat. I'm not trying to be mean, but at some point, this girl has to have consequences for her actions. Because she's teaching a whole generation of people that, you know what? It's okay to put out everything about your life and anybody who upsets you publicly to use to hurt them with. She weaponizes her emotions against people with her platform. And she's teaching a generation of people, you know what? You getting attention and money is the most important thing in the world. But she's so right, and Shane has gotten with the devil? Are you joking? Or are you kidding me? I'm sorry, it bothers me. So, this video is gonna do very well, I can tell. But you know what? I'd rather say what I have to say, and I'm telling you from experience, this woman is not a nice person. She's not. She's a manipulator. She's a manipulator. I'm not saying Shane is perfect. I'm not saying anybody's perfect. But I know Shane hasn't done that to me. And all we know right now is Shane bad because Trisha says so. Trisha, can you please provide any evidence of what you're saying? A little bit of evidence about Shane? Except for just continuing to disrespect his privacy with no evidence? Because only Trisha's mental health matters. Not Shane's, but Trisha's. Not Ethan, not Hila, but Trisha's. It's so narcissistic. This is driving me nuts. And everybody's just blindly believing it because she's upset. She's upset because she has mental issues that she refuses to fully work out because it's too important for her to get that money and hurt other people for it and degrade herself. Doesn't care who she hurts. So he then says, it's healthy to take a step back, think about it, breathe about it, not react publicly. I don't care who you are. We need to stop giving Trisha a pass. What people keep saying, but Trisha said this, and Trisha said, and I've even heard people say, Trisha still has to make money with why she promoted all of this around that. Then why are you upset with Shane for making money with Jeffree in a situation that, you know what, I'm sorry, what happened with hairbyjay? That wasn't Jeffree's fault and it wasn't Shane's fault. Yes, Jeffree had a hand in it because that's his assistant. Yes, they were mean to her. Guess what, Trisha? You're mean to people too. Grow up and deal with it. And I'm not saying what hairbyjay said is okay, because it's not. It was disgusting. Trisha had every right to be upset. She had every right to feel the way she did. But why are you putting this on Shane and Ryland? They are doing what literally, if you were to go to a mental health counselor, you know what they're going to tell you? Don't react to things. Don't just blow up like Trisha does. And don't be destructive. Stop. Allow yourself to feel upset. Take a step back. Take a few breaths, assess how you feel, and then allow yourself to feel it. Don't suppress it, but wait until you're in the right place and it's the appropriate moment if you need to talk to somebody to communicate with them. So you do it from the best possible place. So you can not be a destructive human being and a tornado to everybody you touch, Trisha. And nobody says this because, Trisha has mental illness, so she's immune. Because nobody else matters but Trisha. Because the public says it's okay to be mean to Shane right now. And Shane is a perfect target because he has to be quiet. We're going to get to that in a second. Oh, this video is going to be a fun one, isn't it? Knowing what Trisha's done to me, I'm trying hard to still be on some level respectful and to be somewhat calm. This is amped up a little bit, but I'm seeing it now. She is wildly manipulative. I think we've all tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, and we've all tried to give her passes, and I think that needs to be done. If Shane's going to be canceled for everything, Trisha needs to be canceled times 10. Where's Trisha's cancellation for everything she's done? I'd like to know. So, again, I'm not into cancel culture. I'm not saying cancel anybody. That's the point. Don't cancel anybody. But Trisha is not a good person, in my opinion. So, he says, I love Trisha, and I think she's iconic, even if she's never in our lives. I will never talk badly about her. He hopes they can mend their friendship and they can continue to talk in real time, person to person. You know, like mature adults who want to be mature adults do. So, let's take a look at least at about 5 minutes of what Trisha has to say, and we're going to break it down. So, take it away, Trisha, without any evidence, obviously. Why would you have it?
Hey guys, what is up? So I know I always say like I'm leaving TikTok like for whatever. And yeah, I am actually gonna probably take a break for like, I don't know, like a week. And I'm taking a week off from posting on YouTube and probably just any social medias. So the frenemies is up, the podcast, and obviously we talk a lot about what happened and stuff, and it's just like a lot, and I feel like a lot of emotions, mostly like sickness and anxiety over it. It just feels like I don't want to make anyone more upset. I'm just trying to like hash out my feelings, but also I just need to do that. Like I really do need to do it privately, and I just want to move on, and I just don't want to be associated with anyone I've mentioned, and I just want everyone to move on, and like it's just a lot, and it's just really triggering. And I know I say this a lot, but like ooh, I'm just like letting you know. Obviously I was okay to talk about on the podcast and stuff, but I asked him to not put like Shane or Jeffree's name in the title because I don't want to be that. And the music video I posted today was already scheduled to go up this week. I said it in last week's frenemies. I just don't want to see anything online for a while, so I'm gonna peace. Okay, so I just saw Ryland's podcast, and it's really hurtful. It's really hurtful, but I just wanted to address a few things. The first being, why didn't Trish come to us about this problem that she was on? I did. Right after it happened, continuously throughout, phone calls with Shane and you on my couch, telling you about it's not just drama. It's not drama. Like it's full on harassment, telling me to oh, there's a balcony jump, telling me like throwing shit in the thing, like just being so mean, smacking shit out of my hand. I did tell you this. It's not drama. He says he's not a mind reader. Well, you don't have to be a mind reader because I told you guys multiple times, and you know this. It's just straight up. It's actually crazy. Two friends got in an altercation a year ago. I did absolutely nothing. I was so excited to go on this trip. I came back and I was traumatized. I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying. It wasn't an altercation. What did I do? Hairbyjay's like, oh, Trisha should be lucky Jeffree's not laying shit out. What did I do? I did absolutely nothing to warrant this. Then he goes on to say we could have talked this out with her. Well, guess what? When he did text, he said, let's forget about it. And he ended it with, well, I didn't want to believe what you said about Jeffree. How are we supposed to talk about it? The fact that he said I can't read someone's mind is like, I don't even know who this person is. And he's actually the fakest person. And this just proves it. It just proves it. And I knew it. When they had Jeffree up there, like, praising him, all this great stuff. Like, I knew it was fake. I knew it was for views. These people sold their soul to the devil. It is scary. It's scary. And you know what? I'm not upset with you guys. You kept saying, I don't know why she's upset with this or mad. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I'm, like, so disappointed. 12 years of friendship with Shane. And however many years, 2 or 3 years friendship with you. And you just, like, being there, sitting on my couch, like, all this time. And guess what? Another thing about your friend Jeffree, his so-called being there for you guys during all this trauma. Well, here, I think you know who this is from. A breakdown of when Shane was bawling his eyes out, Jeffree rolling his eyes like, oh, it's Shane again. Maybe it's hard for her to express her feelings about Jeffree. F you, Ryland. F you. You are a POS. You are a POS because you know exactly how I felt this entire year. And this is why I blocked both him and Shane. They are so manipulating, gaslighting. They're so cruel. It's insane. And Ryland is so fake, and let me tell you why. Because he's like, yeah, Jeffree's always been kind of like not that great to me. He kind of ignores me, and he's not nice to Morgan, and this, that, and the other. Shane also saying to me last year during all this trauma is like, oh, maybe Jeffree's like this villain. Like, I'm scared. What do we do? Like, how do we distance ourselves from him? There was no drama. I said I was never going to expose Jeffree because you guys were still like in business with him and stuff like that. There was no drama. It's straight up the bullying, being mean, being nasty, but traumatized. It's more than just me having an issue with somebody. This was like a personal, private matter that I confided in you guys in. And then you're turning this around and be like, I wish she would have talked. Oh, maybe she doesn't know how to express herself when it comes to Jeffree. There is no mending this friendship or relationship. You guys made a deal with the devil, and I want nothing to do with that evil energy. It's nasty and it's disgusting, and I repute it. You want some internet drama, Ryland? You want drama because that was traumatizing. That shit that I'm still dealing with. This is why I bring it up. It's why it keeps going through my head. It's why I keep talking about it with you guys all the time about the Jeffree situation. Let's talk about internet drama. Okay, yeah, you don't. Oh, Trisha talked to me about the podcast and I'm wanting to take it down. Like, I've told it to Shane 3 times and he glazed over it. The fact that you guys are praising this evil, this monster, and I should have known this was evil. Here's some internet drama for you. When Shane asked me to take down videos that we did with Trevor Moran of him like singing in Shane's apartment or whatever during his whole scandal, I took it down. I took it down. Why? Because I don't know. Shane is like a friend, and if he says something's uncomfortable, I do take it down. Anything. He's asked me to take down so many videos. You know how many videos I asked Shane to take down on me? 0. I don't know what Jeffree has over you and Shane. I don't know what dark shit you guys do, what devil magic you guys are doing, but it's dark and I want no part of it. And your podcast just showed how cold and evil you have become, how there's no soul behind those eyes. I hope it was worth it. Like, I really did want to cleanse. And then when I saw, because I really did not think he was going to like address it because it's just heavy. And usually when stuff's heavy and serious, they ignore it and they hide, which is just like, just by all the coldness in the tone, he's just like, all right, well, moving on to this podcast. It's like, I'm so disappointed that was his response to all this. Like, it's crazy. How people can change so quickly is insane. There's some darkness around this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if like there's secrets, they have stuff on each other. I don't know if it's just strictly for money, to keep collecting money from the palette and from the merch and from, you know, Jeffree being on the podcast. And I don't know what it is. It started out as an issue with apparently an issue Jay had with me, and then Jeffree also like obviously being a part of that. And now it's gone to this. It's cowardly and it's sick and it's blows my mind. I just want to say that I am so thankful for all the people who are speaking the truth.
All right, more time for me to get irritated. Here we go. By the way, why are we blindly believing Trisha with no evidence? Well, she has mental illness issues, and the stigma is you don't ever believe people with mental illness issues, so that's just mean to do. I get it. I get that, but Trisha's known to lie. And it's okay to say, hey, we should probably get evidence from the person who admits that they lie about a lot of things, who admits that they do things for attention, and that has personally been a mean girl to the person that you are watching. Trisha said she's taking a social media break, then does 21 videos on TikTok. And look, I'm guilty of this. I said I was only going to come back for 1 video. I fully came back. Look, I didn't know that was what was going to happen. I didn't know my health was going to go where it was. Like, sometimes things evolve. I get that. But Trisha just constantly, I'm going to take a break. And then boom, here she goes, attacking Jeffree and Shane again. I want it to be done. But she can't stop talking about it. Shane, who did nothing to her. Y'all, this is just driving me nuts. The whole thing is driving me nuts. So then it says she promotes the Frenemies podcast. Well, obviously, because it's okay for her to make coins off of people talking negatively about Shane. Not okay for Shane. And then she finally says she needs to hash out her feelings. And this was the first message. The first one. She needs to hash out her feelings privately. She wants to move on. But then keeps making videos because Ryland spoke. And it's funny because she even says she didn't expect them to say anything. So you expected that you could just say whatever you wanted without evidence and that nobody would say anything, but you're also mad at Shane for not publicly saying anything and defending you. So you were going off of the assumption that they wouldn't say anything because you as a close friend know that's where they are at with dealing with the public. Good manipulation. She then says she said that with the podcast, she asked for Jeffree and Shane not to have their names in the title because she didn't want to make it about them. But you made the whole podcast about them. Oh, look at you, Trisha the hero. She saw Ryland's podcast and it was hurtful. Why didn't Trisha come to them? Well, she says she did. Right after it happened, continuously throughout. Phone calls. It wasn't just drama. It was harassment. They were being so mean. Smacking stuff out of her hands. And then Ryland says he's not a mind reader. And she says he doesn't have to be. They know how she feels about this. It's actually crazy. First of all, as Trisha decided to put out there, if Shane is having mental health issues, doesn't Trisha get real upset when people call her crazy because of her mental health issues? But I guess she can say people are crazy and insane when they have mental health issues, and that's okay. Because it's okay when Trisha does it. I guess now that she's on H3, it's okay, whatever she does. Oh, this drives me nuts. Why didn't Trisha come to them? Now, I think they meant when you were this upset with the hairbyjay thing, why didn't you come to us and let us know? And I think Trisha is very much giving back and forth signals on situations. That's what I think is happening because of her people pleasing and not wanting to lose friendships. And I think they are genuinely confused. So they might have known at the height of her emotions how she felt. I don't think they knew with the hairbyjay thing how she was really feeling. And Shane said, come over, let's talk about it. Yeah, he said, let's forget about it. And you know what? That might not have been the best choice of words, but it's text. And you know what text is great for? Miscommunication. That's why, like Ryland says, adults like to take a step back, calm down, and then express themselves when the time is right. Things Trisha refuses to do because she makes too much money off of being chaotic and destructive and will continue to do so because nobody holds her accountable. So then it says, and then she's also talking about Jeffree, this situation with Jeffree. Like she talks about it like Shane did it, and it's just really irritating me. And then she says, 2 friends got into an altercation a year ago. I come back traumatized and crying. hairbyjay says, what did she do? Nothing. I did nothing to warrant this. And I agree with that. And she said, I don't disagree with any of that. She says, he goes on to say, we could have talked this out. When he says, let's forget about it, then, and also I didn't want to believe you, how are we supposed to talk it out? Trisha, I would love to see, first of all, the evidence that that was exactly what was said. I mean, go ahead and disrespect Shane and Ryland's privacy some more because you already have, because you're such a great friend, right? Oh, you're the super friend of the year. So I'd love to see the evidence. And secondly, how do you know? Because it was text, it wasn't miscommunication. I always say never fight over text and never try to deal with heavy stuff over text because miscommunication is, guys, most of communication, like 80% is going to be body language, vocal tone, vocal inflection, facial, like what you're doing with your face, facial expression. You get none of that with text, which is why it's so easy to miscommunicate. On some level, part of me is like, I think Trisha wanted this because this was an easy way to promote what she's doing. That's what it looks like. And I'm sorry, I don't want to believe that, but that's what it looks like. I've been going to bat for her, even knowing how she's done me wrong until I realized she did me even more wrong than what I knew. And all my points about her mental health and things I've said, I still feel are valid, but I'm not giving her any benefit of the doubt that she's a decent person because I don't think she is. I firsthand know she's not. Then she says, he's Ryland, he's the fakest person. This proves it. I knew it. Then she goes, he's the fakest person. It proves it. I knew when they had Jeffree on there praising him for the views. They sold their souls to the devil and it's scary. Oh, girl. I love that suddenly Trisha wants to be the pillar of religious hierarchy. All of a sudden, right? Her teaching a generation of people, getting attention at any cost and hurting anybody for it, and selling anything for any amount of money and damaging as many people as possible along the way is appropriate, and that nothing should ever stay private. Do everything to get attention. Oh yeah, Trisha. Trisha, you and all of your exploits, you have just been a pillar of moral authority. It makes me laugh. And then she says, well, I knew it when they had Jeffree on there praising him. But she had said, I want to make peace with him. She's okay with it. When Ryland said he's not a mind reader, Trisha, maybe get your emotions straight and come at people the way you feel. If you really wanted them to cut Jeffree off, say that. And then if you went through something horrible and you really wanted, which she did with hairbyjay, and you wanted to have them cut something off, go have the decency to sit with them or at least call them and talk to them. Just how rude to do to Shane and Ryland. And then he goes on to say we could have talked this out. Let's see. Oh, then she says she's not angry or upset. She's disappointed that a 12-year relationship with Shane wasn't enough for a 2 to 3 year relationship. Being there all this time. And their friend Jeffree, she goes, oh, and you want drama? You want drama? And then she puts out apparently some stuff that Jeffree said that was mean towards Shane. Hey, Trisha, because you put out there to the world that Shane's having mental health issues, if something happens to him, I hope you feel okay. Because Shane just lost a friend, is confused because you don't communicate, because you don't want to grow or mature as a person, or you just refuse to. And now you've said, oh, by the way, the person that you're standing by, guess what? he's mean to you too. Trisha, did Ryland go on and try to escalate more drama and meanness? No. Have you done that? Absolutely. Because again, Trisha's a great person. Trisha's a great person. Believe her blindly. Believe anything Trisha says blindly, guys. Then she says, maybe it's hard for her to express her feelings. And then she curses at him because, that's mature. He is a POS because he knows how she felt this entire year. Trisha, I bet you've done a lot of back and forth because the week before this happened, you said you wanted to make peace with Jeffree. So again, Trisha, how are they to read your mind when you flip-flop? And then you don't even give them the benefit of the conversation at the height of you being mad at something that wasn't even their fault. How do you do that? So she says, and she says this is why she blocked Ryland and Shane, because they manipulate and gaslight, and it's so cruel. You mean like what you did to me with other creators, Trisha? You mean like that? You mean like that? Really? Really, girl? They manipulate, gaslight, and it's so cruel. Ryland is fake because, Jeffree isn't that great to me, and he ignores me, I guess Ryland says. He's not nice to Morgan, etc. And then Shane also says to her, well, maybe Jeffree's a villain. I'm scared. What do we do? How do we distance? You know what? They probably do have issues with Jeffree. No friendships are perfect. I have friendships where there are things about my friends where I'm like, I love them, but this part drives me nuts. And you know what? They have issues with me that drives them nuts. I'm not an easy person to be friends with because I'm chronically ill. And in being chronically ill, guess what? I can be needy in terms of I need help staying alive. And that is draining to anybody around me. I feel guilty about that. But I'm aware of the fact that my friendships, my friends, things can be limited because we all have situations going on. Sometimes they're irritated with me. You know what? They love me, but they're also irritated about X, Y, and Z. That's okay. That is okay. Trisha doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. It's called growing as adults, maturing. And I know I've not been perfect at this before. You guys saw me when I was trying to fight for my life, which was I was in the worst mental state, right? So I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been great at any of this. But I'm just saying, like, at some point, she's got to stop being destructive because she needs attention. And she just doesn't want to, and when I say that, guys, you could say, well, her mental illness isn't her wanting attention. That's not necessarily what I'm saying, but her getting attention weighs out her actually doing what she needs to do to fix her mental illness. So she's always going to be destructive, and that's what it is. When's the next time she's going to quit frenemies and put everything out about Hila and Ethan and their family and just screw them over? When's the next time? I guess that's totally okay. What, because Dr. Drew put it all on Ethan? Which was crap. And it's funny because I know everybody wants to listen and take D'Angelo Wallace's word as God. And look, I've seen some of his stuff, and I like some of his stuff. I'm not going to talk negatively about him. But D'Angelo Wallace has said the same things about Trisha Paytas. And you clap for him. But with me, I'm horrible when I say it because it goes against whatever popular opinion is out there right now. You're going to get more sides of a story, and I'm going to try to be as real as I can and give you as much truth in the best way that I can on this channel and not just feed you full of popular stuff because, ooh, let's get the gossip out there no matter how mean or bullying it is and then act like we're better than mainstream media just so I can grow my channel. That's called selling out your soul, Trisha. You know, what you did to your friends. This girl, one day I hope I can talk about it all. She drives me nuts. And I've tried so hard. You guys have watched me be supportive of her. So she says they're turning it around on her and says they wish she would have talked to them and that she doesn't know how to express herself with Jeffree. There's no mending this friendship because they're evil, they're nasty, and she rebukes it. Oh, religious Trisha. Religious Trisha. I do think it's funny that like every boyfriend she has, she ends up completely getting passive and just jumps into whatever he's into. So I don't know. It's funny to me. She changes her identity for every guy she's with and it kind of makes me giggle. So I guess, because I don't even want to say too much. I don't want to say too much because it's just, she drives me nuts and it's too transparent. So, first of all, what they're referring to, Trisha, is they didn't realize how much you were impacted by what happened with hairbyjay and how much that you wanted them to drop him and Jeffree at that moment because you didn't give the benefit of communicating with them because you were a bad friend. And I get it, you were upset, but you could have taken a few days because, Trisha, you don't have to just spill everything online to get your attention and your money because I know you made a lot of money off those videos. A lot of money. You know it and I know it because I actually know the inner workings of how YouTube works. Now, I don't know it necessarily at your level, but I'm somebody who's made $76,000 in 1 month. I know how much you're making. And you just did exactly. You are the one gaslighting, manipulating. Everything you said about Shane and Ryland is exactly what you are doing. You put Ryland in a position where he had to say something. You were mad that he didn't say anything, and now you're mad that he does because you didn't expect it, because you thought you could just walk all over them because my mental illness. So we'll keep going. It just makes me so mad. There's no mending the friendships. It's evil, nasty, and she rebukes it unless it benefits her to throw people under the bus and get with H3, who was very anti-Shane. Did Shane ask you to not do that? Was Shane not traumatized by the cancellation he got from people like H3? I guess Shane's trauma doesn't matter because Shane bad. Shane bad. Because, forgiveness in society for things we don't understand doesn't matter. It's all about getting attention and money at any cost for any time. But we're better than mainstream media. She told Shane 3 times to take the podcast down. He didn't. First of all, she said Shane offered. Trisha, can you please, if everything was done by text as you say, and you've already gone ahead and you've just completely desecrated all of Shane's privacy, can you back up what you're saying? Because I don't take your word for it, because I know who you are. I know who you choose to be. So, she says, I always take videos down. Shane asks if he's uncomfortable, upset. So many. You know how Shane's taken down for me? 0. Can you please provide the evidence of how many videos you've asked to get taken down? Because I can almost guarantee it's none, because you have no problem with people exploiting you, as you proudly proclaim. Because this is what you want for our generation of women and people. This is how this is the gold standard of how to live, right? Gross. I'm sorry. That's gross to me. And then she rebukes evil. Get out of here. Get out of here with your moral fake Iors. Then she says, whatever Jeffree and them have on each other and whatever they're doing behind the scenes, it's dark, evil devil stuff, and she wants no part of it. There's no soul behind those eyes, and they are evil. That's a real rotten thing to say, considering how much personal information and destructive you've been to so many people, Trisha. But then again, you're the rebuker, aren't you? She says when stuff is heavy and serious, they ignore it, and they hide, and they are cold. And she knows because Ryland was cold in his tone of the voice of going, oh, well, moving on. No, it's that he was doing everything he can to de-escalate the situation. Because you go to therapy, the stuff your therapist says that you kind of ignore because you need that money and that attention because you aren't confident in yourself that you can get it any other way than being destructive to people. Yeah, that's how that goes. And also, they try to hide it. It's that they try to deal with it calmly, respectfully, professionally. Something that you're going to refuse to do because being chaotic gets you money. Crazy how people can change so quickly. It's insane. It's darkness around this. I don't know what it is. Secrets, money for the palette, and merch. I don't know. It started out as an issue with Jay, and she says had with me, but obviously it's Jay, and it's come to this. It's cowardly and it's sick. Well, I don't know that I need to say much more. I think you guys know where I stand. I think I'm going to break down the rest of these messages too later. I wonder if YouTube is going to let this up. We will see what happens. Look, I'm not trying to be mean to Trisha, and I'm not trying to bully Trisha. That is not my goal. But my goal is to tell you I have personal experience with her. She is hurtful. She's manipulative. And she has bullied and hurt somebody she says is one of her best, closest friends. And she did it all while making money, getting attention, claim that's what he's doing. Please take a very big look at the YouTubers that you think are great people. 90% of them are pieces of not good. And I know that's hard to hear. I've even seen people say, look, you keep saying this about my favorite creators and I don't want to believe you because I think that they're this. And I'm not saying they don't have good parts to them. I'm not saying Trisha's just a horrible, terrible person. I'm saying she's manipulative and she's really not well-intended when it comes to getting that attention. She has made that clear about who she is from the beginning. Why are we ignoring that? Because popular opinion, Shane bad. If Shane is bad, I think we should all hand Trisha her cancellation right now. In fact, let's just give her 10 of them. Let's hand 10 of them over for everything she's done. A mature adult who actually cares about a friend is going to do everything the best that they can, calmly and privately. That's what you do when you care about somebody. That's what you do. I don't think Trisha really knows genuinely how to care about people. I think she knows how to dive headfirst into people and try to people please and not lose people. And I think she knows how to exploit people. And that's sad. That's sad. So rebuke that. All right, guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, that's okay. Give me a thumbs down because it helps anyway. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at this, but you know what? I'm speaking the truth. And I've gotten confident in myself enough on YouTube. I've learned that I speak the truth and people get mad and I've gotten insecure and I've second, third guessed myself, 10th guessed myself, and I let people gaslight me. No more. I know I'm right. When I say I'm right, I don't know that I have all the details right. I know Trisha is not a good person because she's not been a good person to me when it was not warranted, and as she has used me and manipulated me and the people around me for her own gain to play games and be mean with people and get attention. I've watched her do it. And now I'm watching her take somebody who's only been nice to me and be horrific to him. I think it's so manipulative that she said I really didn't think they would respond to this. I think that shows a lot of her hand. I could be wrong. Maybe Shane and Ryland are the worst people on the planet. I don't know. But what I go by is action and what I see from people consistently. What I see is Ryland and Shane, who have been nothing but kind to me, continue to consistently do the things you should as a mature, respectful adult. I see Trisha continually do destructive things and everybody gives her passes and gold stars. And I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to stand by bullying, and I feel like Shane is being bullied. I know he's done content that's offensive, and I know people don't like it. He's apologized. Maybe the apology wasn't good enough for people. I get it. That is your right to feel that way. But to continue to just keep being mean to somebody who is sorry and trying to change and trying to be better and trying to grow and trying to go within themselves and trying to be quiet, to continually harass and bully that person means y'all turned into the bullies. That's my opinion. Leave a comment. Little concerned. Please be respectful. That's all I ask. We can disagree respectfully and I'm happy. Let me know. And there we go. I really, as much as I'm a businesswoman, I want to grow this channel, make money. I want to be true to myself and I want to be true to standing up for people. I feel deserve it. And I feel right now, I don't feel Shane deserves this. hairbyjay deserves it. Jeffree deserves some stuff. I think some things are questionable, but yeah, I get it. Shane didn't do anything to her and she didn't give him the benefit of the doubt of a conversation. Shame on Trisha. But that's Trisha. Remember she said Jeffree's awful and he's just going to keep winning in life? Same thing goes for her in my opinion, because all she wants to do is get that money and get that attention. Good luck ever having real friendships or a real relationship. And I don't say that, I don't wish her ill will. I just want her to stop being destructive to people. And if I see it, I'm going to call it out because I've seen what she's done to other people and myself. All right, guys, we'll see y'all soon. Take care, blessings, and I'll see how many of y'all come back. All right, till the next video, guys, I'm giving y'all lots of hugs, lots of kisses. Be very careful with these YouTubers. You never know how shady people are. I learn every day a new one who's just awful. But I don't think that means we should bully or cancel people either, necessarily. Unless there's a big reason for it. And I don't think Shane having past offensive comedy when he's tried to do so much good and change for the better, I don't think that's part of it. That's just my opinion. I know it's not popular, but that's okay. You come to this channel for different perspectives, and I'm giving you one. And I'm also giving you my own. And by the way, if we're just supposed to believe all women blindly who have an accusation, I'm telling you right now, I'm accusing Trisha of these things and I have evidence. So I guess you guys have to blindly believe me, per the logic that's out there, unless my narrative isn't popular. And then we can go ahead and discredit me, right? Sometimes, as much as I love this platform and I love what I do, I hate the hypocrisy. I hate the hypocrisy. And I hate how people are being trained. We have a generation of people that are being trained to believe attention and money at all costs, no matter who you hurt. And I'll never stand by that. All right. Take care. Love y'all. See you soon. Bye.